Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Press Talk Sports Live. I am your host, Jeff Weisinger, sports editor here at the Brentwood Press and slowly out of breath. Joining me today, we have a very awesome guest. I've been very fortunate to cover him for the last couple of years with Liberty Wrestling and Liberty Football. He's taken his talents to the international stage. Let me not waste any more time. David Calkins Jr., thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you
first off, congratulations. You and I have talked in the past about representing country and what that would mean for you. So I kind of want to get straight into it. What does a moment like this mean for you?
This is just another stepping stone for me. Obviously, there's a lot that I want from this sport. I love the sport. I love what I do. And this is just another stepping stone. Making the team. Obviously, I want to win a world title. I want to win the Olympics. And this is just another great opportunity for me.
When did you find out? What was it? Take me through the process, because opportunities like this don't happen. You're one of 10, right?
Yes.
Going to Worlds. One of 10 for Team USA, I should say.
Yes.
Okay. Take me through the process of how this all came about and pretty much when you found out and all that such.
Yeah. So pretty much it's a tournament in Vegas called the US Open, and they just put you in a bracket with everybody else that's registered. I think my bracket was a 64-man. And it's a day tournament. You run through it, and once you make it to the finals, it's best 2 out of 3. And whoever wins the best 2 out of 3 matches makes the world team spot. And, throughout that tournament, there was a lot going up to it. I got concussed a month before. It wasn't a very fast recovery. It took a little bit. Just going into the tournament, I only had a week of training. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it fly. I'm excited to wrestle. I'm blessed to wrestle. I'm blessed to be back. And so that's what I did. I just didn't focus on outcomes or winning or losing. I just wrestled. And, it was really fun for me. And obviously God took care of the results.
Has that been the biggest difference, I think? Because when I look back at your career, for as long as I've been covering you, as long as I've been here, when you look at the first your sophomore year and your junior year, as dominant as you were, it feels like something was maybe kind of missing, maybe, right? As far as winning state, as far as really kind of getting to that point. Do you feel as if that sense of just wrestling, do you think that is kind of been quote unquote the missing piece now as you go into Worlds and then especially going to your senior year next year?
Absolutely. I think some people need that, that kick in the butt to get them going. Hey, I need to win this. It's the complete opposite for me. I just need to relax and, work where my feet are and not worry about all the superficial things that go into it and just worry about the base of the sport, which is essentially just wrestling.
In your opinion, I've always wanted to ask you this, but in your opinion, what has made you, results aside, I think we can say what's made you stand out, you see the results and everything you've done in these last 3 years of yours, but what has really made you so successful? Whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's on the mat, whatever it's going to be, what has really kind of been that, if I may ask, what's been the edge that you have personally that kind of really kind of keeps pushing you?
I'm convicted that I am the hardest worker that I know. I don't believe whatsoever that anyone works harder than me. And that's one thing that, kind of backs up my mental. And I have a belief that, that God is going to get me where I need to go. And, just having that and knowing that, hey, it's not in my hands. I shouldn't even have to worry about it. It's not my decision. He's going to take care of everything. And I'm just along for the ride. So really just working hard, trusting in my Lord, my Savior, trusting in my coaches. I have a great coaching staff. And just putting the work in, being comfortable, uncomfortable. That's all it is for me.
You and I talked in the past. Your sister is a big influence on you, Sam. You've mentioned how much you're trying to, and I don't want to say catch up to her, but in a sense, kind of catch up with her in a sense. She didn't go to Worlds, did she?
She didn't. No.
So you kind of have that one up a little bit with her, right? Let me ask you a question. When you got, was it a letter, was it email, or call? To let you know?
Just as soon as I won the tournament. That's
what season one.
That
okay.
was the deciding.
So if I may ask, so what's been the response from your family since? Because I know how tight you guys are. So I'm kind of curious what that's been like for you guys.
Sam was following the tournament all the way through. she called me right after. After I got off the mat, I hugged my mom, my dad, my friends, my coaches, and she called me right after, and I just told her everything that I was feeling, everything that went on that day. It was a wonderful feeling.
What were you feeling the minute everything kind of ended? Because when I watch you, whenever you won your matches, and granted, like the ones here at least may not have been as intense as say U.S. Opens and such, but I've known you kind of after your match, you kind of go out for a jog, and I'm like, you kind of go out for a quick run or whatever. And was it kind of similar? Was it a bit more celebration for this one, considering what was at stake?
Yeah, that's just my cool down.
Okay.
I go out, I run, I stretch, I put my legs up. After I did that, after the match, like I said, I just showed love to my parents and talked with Sam on the phone. It was just such a rush of emotions of, this was a goal I had for 4 years. And just, letting that all sink in, letting the tribulations and trials of the past 4 or 5 months, just let all that sink in, and just knowing that it was all worth it. It was the best feeling I've ever felt, honestly.
I know your dad especially has been really, he's almost been right there neck and neck with you as far as his wrestling journey has gone. How's he kind of like celebrated with this? How's he reacted to all this, to everything happening?
He's very modest. He tries to tell us that it's all us, that we're the ones doing the wrestling, but he puts in so much work and effort, and they all do. Both my parents, all my family, all my coaches, they all support us so much, and they never admit it, but they contribute hugely to my success.
You haven't been to Europe before, have you?
No.
No. So knowing you're going to Athens, Greece in July, I mean, kind of warm, but knowing you're going to Athens, like, what are you looking forward to with that?
I'm just excited to see what the culture's like. I'm only used to what's here in the U.S. and just another blessing. It's a great opportunity for me.
Well, what's the longest flight you've taken before this upcoming one?
I'd probably say, I think it was a direct flight to Florida.
Okay, it's like 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
What does David Calkins bring on a plane? What is like the most necessary items you need for a flight? Because this is like a 12, 13-hour flight-ish, if I have it right. This is almost like double that.
Yeah. It depends. Am I cutting weight for this flight or?
I mean, well, I'm kind of curious. Like, do you have any necessities as far as like, some people? For me, like I'll have my iPad with me. I'll have like my headphones for sure, right? Like, do you have like any flight necessities that you need? Outside the typical like wrestling stuff and everything.
Yeah. For a typical flight, I just we most of the time fly Southwest. I'll bring my phone. They have like the movies and stuff on there.
Okay.
I'll bring a neck pillow, headphones, and then snacks, food, drinks.
So you fly pretty much as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Prepare for a 12-hour flight, man. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go into a little bit your success with Liberty. Obviously, we all know how good you are individually and such. You've really, as good as the program's been, you've really helped kind of take it to a whole, you and your sister really have kind of really taken it to a whole new level. Just talk about what that's been like. I don't want to say carrying the program per se, but like what it's been like almost being the face of the program these last several years. I mean, this isn't like, oh, you're going to have a great senior year. You've had a great overall career, like since day one, really. What's it like what's that part been like, the journey, working with Alex and having the teammates you've had and such?
It's been a blessing. I grew up watching Liberty Wrestling. I grew up, in the club in Delta Wrestling, and being able to just rep that name, put on for Liberty Wrestling. It's been awesome. And it's not just me; it's the whole team. Everyone does their thing, does their part, and we've had a lot of success. But I think we're only scratching the surface of what we can do as a program.
Do you feel, with that said, then, do you feel as if you guys, because of the lack of a state title per se, right? That has kind of been the elusive one. BVL is fine, NCS fine, but the state title has really been the one that's kind of slipped away from y'all. Has that kind of been a missed opportunity for you guys these last 2 years, especially not being able to kind of get that state title?
Yeah, for sure. Just another mental thing. I'm gonna fix it. It's just got to worry about wrestling at its core and not about all the other things. But I'm fully confident in my abilities to get that.
Do you feel as if then, because we talked about your mindset shift this year to just wrestle, right? I mean, everything else kind of falls into place, and obviously you've kind of shown your success on the mat and such. Does that kind of translate going into your senior year now, and in that chase, your last chance to really kind of get that state title?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to harp on the negatives per se, but I'm kind of curious. Like, that's kind of been the one that you have a national title, you have obviously BVAL, NCS. It just feels like when you look at a trophy case and there's like that one gap, it just feels like that's kind of been there for you. The mentality shift to just go wrestle, just go at it, kind of really help push that going into next year.
Yeah, it's gonna do. If all stays the same, I keep working. It's gonna do wonders. And obviously I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit, play with the wrestling, tinker things, tweak things, but it's gonna be a huge difference maker.
With that said, going into this world, is it a world? We call it like a Greco Worlds. I think that we got the name of it here. Greco-Roman Wrestling World Championship. If you have a lisp, it's like the worst thing to say. Going to Worlds in Greece, how much do you feel that's going to help you kind of push the boundaries even more going to next year?
It should give me the confidence that I need. Just knowing that I'm a world champ in Greco. Why can't I be a state champ in folk style? You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's just another great opportunity to wrestle. It's not about the title, it's not about the name, but I'm just ready to go.
What do you hope to kind of, outside winning it, outside going after championship and winning it, what do you kind of hope to get out of this as a wrestler per se in Worlds? As far as like maybe learning, because you wrestle against people from, it's literally wrestlers from all over the world. 17 wrestlers from all over. What do you hope, or what are you looking forward to the most with this tournament? Outside just the victory part, maybe it's development, whether it's anything else.
Absolutely, developments. That's going to be a great thing for me. World wrestling is way different than what's in the U.S. So I'm excited to see what that's like. To meet other people. Wrestling's a very interesting sport in the way that, you can go to war with some guy for 6 minutes and then walk off and be friends. So,
right.
I get to meet new people. I get to go places, and that's just a great opportunity for me.
Have you seen any of your competition, whether it be like YouTube videos and such, kind of get an idea of like what they do, how they kind of operate and such?
Not specifically.
Not yet. You just kind of wait until you get there to kind of see everything.
Yeah.
Man, you are brave. I would be scouting immediately. I'm like, okay, this guy's here. That sense of not, I guess with that said, that sense of not having the anxiety for it, how much do you feel, in the sense where it's like you're not trying to scout every opponent possible, how much do you feel that's going to help you kind of going into Greece?
It's good. Just having an internal sphere of control, internal locus of control, I think that it's going to alleviate stress. Obviously it's in God's hands, but, it puts it in my hands too. If I'm focusing on myself and what I can do rather than what my opponents are doing, that's going to put me in a good position.
I want to ask you some football stuff while you're here, because obviously you have both. How much on the field has kind of helped you wrestling, or vice versa?
Wrestling has really helped with, because I'm on the D line.
Right.
It really helps with my hands, my stability, my how else do I say it? Like
your core balance and
my
everything.
Position, yeah, my balance, and just being in the trenches, it's really helped with hand fighting and getting through there, because a lot of those guys are way bigger than me. They're 350 pounds.
Right.
Me being only like 200 pounds during season, it's a big equalizer for me.
Is during the season you managing to weight specifically to be ready for wrestling? The way you do like from summers to the fall?
Yeah, to an extent. I don't want to get too big, because then I'm gonna have to lose some weight. But yeah, I'm just making sure I'm staying big enough to where I'm not a liability for the team, but also not too big, because I don't want to put that kind of stress on my body.
Right. Being one of the lightest ones on the D line, I mean, just what's that like? I remember talking one of my old D linemen when I coached at Logan. I told him, like, he heard about you, obviously, because he also wrestled for Logan, but he was on more on the heavyweight side, and he was surprised you on a D line. He goes, no, he's always on D-line. I'm like, he's on a D-line. Plays end. Like, I seen it. I cover it. Do you have guys kind of, not I don't want to say look down at you, but kind of like a surprise this quote-unquote smaller guy is playing end like that and doing it at a very successful, in a very successful way?
I get kind of different looks from like, college scouts that come through.
Okay.
I don't want to say overlook because that's bad, but a few of my other D linemen, they're really big in size. So in that case, I'm kind of look past in that way. But besides that, man, my whole team, we're tight. Those are my boys. Those are my brothers also, and we're okay. My size has nothing to do with anything.
Does that kind of give you a chip a little bit that they make you, considering that there is that sense of you being that hint of you being overlooked?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that my size shouldn't be disaccounted for, and my skills should be looked over just because I'm not 6'5". But I try to make it work.
Awesome. One last question for this short pod. I'm very curious about this. I gotta ask you about the proposal. I have to ask you about this. So she ran out the car with the sign. What did the sign say? I don't know if I saw that.
The most recent one?
Yeah.
So she had Dave's hot chicken with her, and it said, "Dave, will you be my hot chicken at prom?"
I'm assuming you said yes because the way you bolted out the house with this.
Absolutely.
You guys are in a competition, but the video is also part of a competition, right?
Yeah. Yes.
For like best proposal, whatever it is.
Yeah, the thing is like, for her high school, it's like, whoever gets the most likes on their video gets free tickets to prom.
Okay. So vote. Where can they vote?
They just go to Granada. I think it's GHS Promposals.
Okay.
And you just comment on my post.
Were you surprised by that at all?
Yeah, she completely caught me off guard.
What's been more surprising, going to Worlds or the proposal?
I plead the fifth.
You are. They trained you right for the media. Let me tell you something. David Calkins Jr. Congratulations on all of it and everything so far. It's so fun getting to cover you and seeing all the success you've had. I know we're gonna see the Olympics soon enough. I just almost when. But really, good luck in the summer. You're there for how long? There for a week? I don't know if it doesn't say here.
Roughly, yeah.
About a week. Okay. I mentioned football before. What did Coach Cable say about it? I'm assuming he knows.
Yeah, he was. I told him I'd have to take some time off, and he was like, that's awesome because I was on an alternate team my 8th grade year.
Okay.
So I almost got in, but I was like second, third alternate team.
Right.
And he was like, all right, well, if you make it, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And me telling him that, hey, like, I'm on it now. Mm-hmm. That was, he's super supportive. They're all really supportive about this. So
the boys are really excited and everything for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there a way we can kind of watch it? Are you gonna stream it anywhere, like YouTube maybe or something, or
it should be on Flow Wrestling.
On Flow Wrestling, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations again. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for
David Calkins Jr., representing Team USA at the 17U Greco-Roman Wrestling World Championship. One of these days, I hope there's a shorter name for this. In July. Thanks so much again for coming. As always, guys, this has been another episode of the Press Talk Sports Live, a shorter one this time. Don't forget, you can help us keep the lights on by subscribing to the Brentwood Press. Go to thepress.net and click on subscribe in the upper right-hand corner for more. For as low as $20, you too can keep up with everything happening in East County. For the great David Calkins Jr., I am Jeff Weisinger. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, take care of one another. We'll catch you soon.